is, and it's a big conundrum. The conundrum is we're not all on the same page. What do you mean, Doc? In order for you to experience guaranteed outcomes, guaranteed results, I got 100 grand if you do this shit and it doesn't work. Well, what do we got to do? Management is more important than prayer. In other words, management is focus, discipline, and order. In fact, self-government management brings about order. So the original intent in the mind of the creator at the time of the creation was self-government, not institutions. So right now, we have Congress, we got courts, we got police, we got all of this stuff to assist you with being you. That was not in the mind of the creator at the time of the creation. When Adam and Eve was in the garden, they walked in the cool of the day with source code. If you look at the word ergon, where we get the word work, it means self-development. Ergon means to bring about order through self-analyzation. And so the difference between me and most Alkibulans is I have an internal government, not an external one. Okay, let me break it down. I don't need the government to tell me what to do. I know what to do. How do I know? This shit's internal. What do you mean it's internal, Doc? It means that there is a specific feeling that I have. I know that I should not go over to my neighbor's house and steal his stuff. I was born with that. Nobody told me that. I know that I should not lay my hands on my brothers or my sisters. I know I should not. I knew internally as a child not to bite the kid next to me, but sometimes I did. So everybody has a specific government. So there are no written laws until Moses goes up on a mountain. In the book of Kings, God did not want man to have rulers, but man said, we want a king. God was like, okay, you low vibrational mother beep. I'm interpreting for God. Because if I were God, that's what I would have said. Because Adam was given internal laws, not external ones. Go back and read the story. There's no external laws. And ain't shit written down. How did Adam know? The shit was internal. What was internal? The ability to govern the self. Adam knew. He knew right from wrong. What was God's desired outcome for the life of Adam? If you look at the story, Adam and Eve was told, hey, do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Why not? He told them that. He said, Adam and Eve, do not eat from this tree. Y'all remember the story? And what did Eve do? Eve was like, bump, you got him, or eat anyway. Shit looks good. So why wouldn't God want them to have the knowledge of good and the knowledge of evil? Did God want us to be dumb? That's what a lot of people teach and preach. I used to teach and preach this too. But you got to read deeper because the word knowledge means experience. Oh, shiznits. So God did not want us to experience. Why not? Because experience produces addiction. So let me get this right. When I was a young whippersnapper, I knew nothing about sex until I experienced it. When I had sex, I was like, ooh, that shit feels good. Let me get some more of that. When I was a young whippersnapper, could you imagine if a child is raised in an environment where there's no processed sugar? In some cultures, especially I know some of my dominant culture friends who did not allow their children to eat processed sugar. They said, no, little Johnny, no sugar for you. So little Johnny had no desire for sugar because little Johnny never tasted the shit. But once little Johnny tasted that sugar, once he ate that first Krispy Kreme donut, little Johnny's eyes lit up, ding, and little Johnny was like, ooh, wait, give me some more of that. Then little Johnny was hooked on the cane. How come? Because little Johnny had an experience. See, source code knew that was not the original intent in the mind of the creator at the time of the creation. In the mind of the creator at the time of the creation, there were certain things he did not want you to experience because source code already knew something that you did not. That is government. Source code knew that you probably do not have the ability to govern yourself. Meaning, source code did not give you no al-Kul. How come source code did not give Adam and Eve al-Kul in the garden? Because then you have to govern yourself. You got to be able to manage Alku. Let me drop something on you that's dangerous to your theology. Source code touch the minds, the will, the emotion, the imagination, and the intellectual capacity of your people, that they may over, and understand what thus says the word of the big G. Management. Whatever you fail to manage, you're guaranteed to lose. Bam! Drop the mic, exit the stage. Let me say it again, slowly. Whatever you fail to manage, you guaranteed to lose. You can manage your appetite, you're guaranteed to lose that waistline. If you can't manage your tongue, you're guaranteed to say some shit to get your ass fired. If you can't manage your money, you're guaranteed to end up in the poorhouse. If you can't manage your sexual appetite, you're guaranteed to be a sexual deviant. If you can't management is more important than the gospel. A lot of Negroes got the gospel. They don't know shit about management. Thus, the state of the black community. Oh, my bad. I'll keep it on. The average Negro can't grow. How come Negroes can't grow? Because they are negate. That's where the word Negro come from. I didn't make it up. Just look it up. Negate. Now, let me make sure you understand, because this shit goes beyond most people's pay grade. We look at the word negative. That's why black is always associated with bad or evil. Why? It really means to make ineffective. That's where we get the word Negro from. That's where we get the word negate or negar. All of these words are the same base root word. But what does it mean to negate? The word negate means to deny the existence or the truth of a thing. That's the state of the black culture. That's the reason why they always refer to you, black man, as a black man. Now, when I am doing my mantras, meditation, doing high vibrational shizness, I'm an individual expression of source code on earth. I have no gender and no race, unlike most Alkibulans. I refer to myself as an individual expression of God. Period. Drop the mic, exit the stage. Therefore, I can manifest all the shit that God can, because I'm an individual expression of God. I am not a gender, nor am I a race. Now, I know that's contrary, but again, what are we talking about? We're talking about guaranteed outcomes, boo-boo. We're not talking about this low vibrational shit that everybody teaches on this planet. We're talking about you being an individual expression of God. Therefore, to be God, you must have the same vibration of God. Therefore, what vibration does God have? Well, God is all knowing. He's all power. He's all present. He's all simple. He's all loving. He, she, it, whatever. But what is the point, Doc? Well, the point is you are an institutionalized individual. You must de-institutionalize yourself. That's how you guarantee. Now, we're talking about guarantee, 100 grand. 100 grand if you do this shit and it doesn't work. 100 grand. But you got a conundrum. You are in an institution. You are a part of this institutionalized racism. See, white supremacy is institutionalized. The shit's not individual. I know a lot of individual white people. They cool people. But there is a systematic. There's a system that is embedded in the culture, in the language, in the laws, in the regulations of our society. The shit is embedded. So therefore, God did not intend to have institutionalized racism. Everything's supposed to be done on an individual level, because when I deal with somebody in real estate, business, I'm making my point to deal with the individual, not the institution. Because if I can look you in the eyes, I can appeal to your sense of humanity. But the institution, when a bunch of white folks get together, they all got to be white. They got to do the good old boy stuff. But if you can get that white man by himself and talk to him one-on-one, same thing, you get a bunch of black folks together, we got to be cool, we got to be hip, we got to have some swag, We got to represent. We got to be, we got to be down. Yo, what's up, my homie? What's up, bro? We got to drop our vibration down to the hood. But you get that Negro by himself, then you bring about the self. You can pull out of the self. So it is the institution. That's why you can't be successful. I mean, not you personally, but people How do I know? Look at your glow. So what are you saying though in English, Doc? I kind of get what you're saying, my brother, but I'm a little confused. So as I said before, God never intended for man to be governed externally. Damn. Oh, snap. Let me say this again in English. God never, go back to the Bible, read the shit again. There was nothing was written down. No laws. Why not? Man didn't need them until Moses. Why did we need laws? Because man became destitute. What does that mean? Man started to establish addictions. But how though? Well, he got some experience. What are those? So Adam and Eve was not supposed to experience good or evil? Why not? Why come they couldn't experience? Remember, they were just supposed to exist. Experience is dangerous. Why? Now, I've had a lot of experiences in my life, both good and evil. So when you get experience, what does that do? Experience is contact with. Experience means to encounter or undergo an occurrence. Experience means to encounter, to under, not over, to go under something. Experience. When you experience something, you get the knowledge of something. Experience. Experience is the dangerous thing. Why is experience a dangerous thing? Now, remember, in order for you to have an experience, you have to have something happen. Meaning, when I experienced my first kiss, when I experienced my first sexual act at the age of 13, when I had that first, now remember, I had my click clacks fondled, but that experience made me conscious of my click clacks. Before then, I didn't know what they was for. So experience is the process of getting knowledge or skill from doing something. So God said, hey, I don't want y'all to experience evil, because God knew that once you experience evil, what happens to you? You got to taste. Like, oh, that shit tastes good. You want more of it. So God said, do not eat. Do not experience good or evil. How come God does not want you to experience evil or good? Because once you experience something, you get the knowledge of something. When you get the knowledge of something, what happens then? You have a desire for something. So experience is the knowledge or skill. So you should be asking yourself, well, Doc, I'm following you, but how come God did not want us to experience good? Because once you experience good or evil, that means that you have now stepped into the area of management of good or evil. Before, you was not what is called self-aware. Meaning, notice Adam didn't put shit on until he became self-aware. Then he noticed that he was naked. Remember, they was in the garden? He said they walked around in the cool of the day. They just hung out with God, sipping pina coladas and just chilling. They did not have the ability to focus on themselves. They could not focus on their thoughts and their actions. They could not change their reality with their mentality. In other words, everything was predetermined. They operate on an instinct, just like me. I got 100 grand. If you can show me an hour, that has not been manipulated, genetically engineered, or man interjected. I got 100 grand if you can show me a lion walking around in its natural habitat, grazing like a damn antelope or water buffalo. I will give you 100 grand if you can show me a lion eating grass every day. If you can show me a carnivore that is a omnivore or an herbivore, 100 grand. How come, Doc? How come lions will always eat meat? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. Because they're designed to eat meat. See, design, they can have the desire, but design trumps desire until you get an addiction. And then addictions can override desire. Meaning, God did not want you to experience good because he knew that you don't have the capacity to maintain good. God did not want you to experience evil because he knew that evil would override good. Now, God knew that, but we didn't. Or Adam and Eve didn't. So what they do? They want to experience shit. So just like me, they was curious. Anybody heard that saying, curiosity killed the cat? Damn straight. How though? Self-awareness. So self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself, to focus on your own actions, to use your own thoughts, to govern yourself. Oh, snap. But we got institutions. We don't have self. Is there anybody that was raised and taught self-government? I know nobody. I did not get exposed to self-government until I went into the Marine Corps. I didn't know what it was. Does anybody know what does it mean to be self-aware? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. Like for real. What is self-awareness? Are you self-aware right now? Because supposedly we're the only creatures on the planet that are self-aware. We're the only ones that have the capacity or the ability to establish a psychological state in which I can focus and be aware that I'm aware. So awareness is this experience, knowledge of my own individuality, not to be confused with my own consciousness. So consciousness and individuality, they're not the same. Ooh, hold up, Doc. You kind of losing me, brother. I know. Hang on, I got you. So originality plus value equals outcome. Somebody should write that shit down. Let me say that again. This is why you cannot guarantee your outcome. You can't. Why? You're not original. And you're not adding value. So therefore, your outcome is determined by the institution. Your outcome is determined by an algorithm. Your outcome is determined by luck. It's determined by hope, a wish, a dream, a prayer. A lot of Negroes not made. Negroes, we like to pray. Because pray makes you pray. I don't know why we like to pray. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. I mean, I kind of know, but I'm confused. But I used to pray too. We can do nothing. Now, it made me feel. Now, from that perspective, okay, that taps into the law of attraction. But what happens when your hope is deferred? Well, the Bible says hope deferred does what? Cold. It whacks. It makes the heart cold. So a prayer attracts a predator. So pray, predators eat prey. So there's a predator-prey relationship. Now the predators, those are the Anunnakis. Now we can't see the prey, we can't see the predators though. So we don't know. It's not our fault. We are with Ebenezer Baptist, and Ebenezer, they didn't teach us this. It's okay. Today's message is primarily for Black folks. Now you white folks, y'all can tune in too. Y'all might learn a little something. But it's primarily for Black folks because we're the ones that pray. Now I'm not against prayer. Let's keep it real. I like the way prayer, because prayer is just another word for meditation. But predators, they don't pray. See, a predator is an organism that eats another organism's energy. See, predators, they prey on prey. So a predator must have prey to exist. So predators cannot exist without prey. Predators and prey evolve together. The prey is a part of the predator's environment. So the predator dies if it doesn't get prey. Let me say it again. The predator dies if the predator doesn't get exposed to the prey. That's why you got to pray. Because I got, now remember, when you pray, most of us, we close our eyes and we bow our heads. If you go to church, the first thing they tell you is, let's all join hands and bow heads. Or they say, please bow your heads for a word of prayer. Chickens always look down because they're picking on the ground. So the eagles, chicken hawks, are predators because they know in order, when you pray, you get on your knees and you bow your head. That is the number one sign that you are prey. And I got to eat. So I feed off people like you. I mean, not you personally, but people you know. What's going on, cuz? I see you made it today. How's that daycare humming? Hopefully everything's going good for you down there in Richmond. So I used to be prey. A prey is someone who gives their energy to a predator, knowingly or unknowingly. So when you go to church and your knees, they get that altar call, you go up there and your knees hit the pavement. You're giving your energy to the pastor. The pastor gives his energy to the church. The church gives their energy to that steeple. That's the spinal cord. That's the antenna on top of the building that goes up, and the Anunnaki siphon the energy from the tower. Now, if you remember King Arthur, the Legend of the Sword, King Arthur, the Legend of the Sword, he has to go fight his uncle, who was the demon, and his sword had to meet stone. First of all, he took the sword out of stone, and then to defeat the enemy, he had to go to the tower, to the top of the tower, and he had to defeat the demon who took his inheritance, because he was the born king. Just like you. You are a born king. You are a born queen. But your energy has been siphoned by institutionalized government. It started from birth. It's not your fault. Remember, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So take a deep breath. Everybody say this 3 times. It is not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Okay? Now what you going to do about it? Well, you got to determine the outcome. You're a grown-ass man now. You're a grown-ass woman. You put your big girl panties on. Men, you put your big boy drawers on. That means if it is to be, it's up to me. I'm not no kid anymore. That means I have an affidavit of sovereignty. What does that mean? That means that if it is to be, I must establish individual government. I got to be able to govern myself because management trumps prayer. Management is more important than prayer. I said again slowly. Management. Remember, management, money is attracted to management. Whatever you can't manage, you can't have. Management, not prayer, is the primary purpose of mankind. Whatever you fail to manage, you will lose. God judges you by your capacity for management. That's why I have the Life Management Center. Wealth is attracted to management. Wealth is repelled by mismanagement. God gives you what you can manage, not what you pray. Say it again slowly. God, the big one, the real one, he does not give you what you pray for. God, the big one, the real one, he only gives you what you can manage. So if I can't trust you, and if you're not faithful over the little, if I give you $10 an hour and you blow that, you ain't going to experience $12 an hour. You can pray, you can fast, you can throw salt over your left shoulder, You can burn sage. You can sing kumbaya. You can say 15 Hail Marys. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You will never get more than $10 an hour because you are mismanaging and you're misapplying God's remember the story of the talents? God's attributes and characteristics that he's given you. So how do I determine my outcome? Number one, I do everything. Here's our 7 keys to determine your outcome. You do these 7 things and they don't work, I'll give you $100,000. Because number one, I have an intent. Number one, I have intention. I do everything intentionally. I don't do shit. Nothing happens by accident. If something happens, I don't go, oh shit, how did it happen? Now, I used to when I was young, dumb, and stupid. But Sister Cheryl, I ain't young, dumb, and stupid no more. So everything that happens in my life is by design. Let me say it again. This is hard. This is hard, but it's good. This will change your life. This is what we're talking about. Is what we talked about yesterday. This is really part 2 of kindness versus caring. See, every black person, we got that. They call it a compassion knot or caring knot. Remember, this is biologically proven. You can go Google it. It's called a compassion knot. I think that's what they call it: compassion knot, caring knot, something like that. It's biologically proven that in the back of our brains, we got this, built-in design, we'll put it that way, for compassion. We call that caring. That's what makes us prey. So that way the dominant culture can easily dominate us. That's why globally, melanated people are the majority, but yet you call yourself a minority. You ever think about that? Look at what is the global population of dark-skinned people versus the global population of Caucasian? They're outnumbered 10-1. Yet, like remember in South Africa? In South Africa, it was like 100-1 before Nelson Mandela and apartheid. There's 100 black people to every 1 white person, yet the white people have black people as slaves. How the mother beat that happened? Negroes dumb as a box of rocks. Now, as a Negro myself, I'm not talking about some shit I read of a book. This is the way I thought in my brain, and I had to overcome that. What did I have to overcome? Institutionalized government. You need self-government. Self-government is the key to predictable, controlled outcomes that you would like to manifest in your life. If there's anyone who would like to be successful, this is how you do it. Number 1, intentional. Number 2, friendly. Number 3, generous. Number 4, considerate. Number 5, voluntary. Number 6, original. Number 7, valuable. Number 1, everything you do must be intentional. Some people, you are doing things that are not intentional. What do I mean by intense? Institutional racism is not a individual, it's different from individual racism. I'm not saying individual racism does not exist. There's some individual white folks that hate black folks. But racism is systematic. It is not individual, primarily. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Don't text me and tell me, hey, doc, I know this dude. I know some dudes too. So the word intentional means done on purpose. Number 1, for you to determine your own outcome. These are the 7 keys to self-government. Number 1, the word intentional. Things are not going to manifest in your life, and you're going to have to pray. And when you pray, you got to get on your knees, you got to bow your head, and somebody like me going to come by and we're going to snatch the life out of you. Now, you'll still be walking around, but you're going to be our BITCH. You can work for us. Ain't nothing wrong with it, But if that's not what you want to do, if you don't want to spend your whole life working for somebody else, you got to be intentional. So intentions are mental states. Let me say it again. Intentional is the mental states. Intentional is the power. The power in order to do what? excuse me, get something done. So intentionality is the power of the mind. It is a mental state that represents your specific state or stand about a specific affairs. Intentional. So my intention today is what? To give you these 7 keys so that way you can establish self-government that is internal. You will never need external government. In other words, a cop cannot tell you something about you that you're not already doing. You will never need someone outside of you to say, hey, excuse me, you need to brush your teeth, comb your hair, put on clean clothes. If you got a car, you should take care of it. Because how you asking God for a new car and the old car, the current car that you got, it's just you never cleaned it, it's raggedy. How you asking God for a new house in the current house? How you ain't managing what you got and you want something else? That would never happen because you have self-awareness that comes from the fact that you are intentional with your purpose. So you come on today's message with your intention to learn and understand so that way you can move in the direction of your God-given destiny. That's the point of today's message, intentional. So intentional means that everything I'm saying it because I have a specific principle in mind. I'm intentionally empowering you so that way I can predict human behavior based upon the structured intent. So if I got an intention, which I do, to generate wealth, health, wisdom, and great relationships, there's a good possibility that that's going to manifest so I can predict with 100% accuracy because the universe responds to intent. As long as that intent is, number 2, friendly. Number 1, you got to have intention. Everything in life, you must wake up in the morning and you must establish your intent. Otherwise, I'm going to establish for you. This is the difference between prey and predator. I'm a predator. I'm a wolf. I'm an eagle. I'm a lion. I'm a go-getter. I'm going to make shit happen. So shit doesn't happen to me. I make shit happen. That's a big difference because I set my disposition. So intention is an aim. Intention is a plan. Intention is a mental state that governs your course of action. Intent. Then my intention must be friendly. See, some of you good God-fearing people, y'all are not friendly. Y'all got intention, but your intention is just for me, my forward, no more, doc. Bump the world. I mean, that's just not going to work. You know the word friendly is another word for the word kind? The word friendly means kind and pleasant. Do y'all know that? Friendly? Remember we talked about you got to be kind, but you cannot give a f about nobody but yourself. Ooh-wee. Go to church and say that. They're going to escort you out the building quick. Why? Because you're supposed to put people before yourself, brother. You're supposed to be a doormat. You're supposed to let people piss on you, and you're supposed to call it rain and like it. That's what they teach over in Ebenezer. I tried that too. Didn't work. You got to be kind and pleasant. Because remember, you bring about what you intend about. So intention just simply means your aim. Intention again simply means your plan. Intention again simply means your purpose. Your purpose must be kind and your purpose must be pleasant. You can't wake up in the morning and say, shit, I want to go hurt, harm, and defraud somebody. Shit, I'm going to go get mine, man. F the world, you know what I'm saying? Bump the white man. Nah, bro, that shit ain't going to work. You got to be friendly. Number 3, you got to be generous. Woo-wee! I like this one. God loves a cheerful giver. I like giving. I like giving so much that sometimes I just give just because a person's image pops up in my brain and I just send them money just because. I love going out to eat with my family and picking up the tab for everybody. I love leaving big tips. I remember when I was never in a state where I could do that. Man, Do you know that being generous or generosity, it means a mental state of virtue. It means liberal, to be liberal, it means to be excessive in giving. It means excessive or excess. It means a plethora. That just simply means you just, man, you just get your rocks off. You love giving. Do you know generous also means kindness? There's that word again, kindness. You find that the word kindness is in all seven of these words. In other words, in fact, these words, we just broke down the word kindness from what we talked about yesterday. See, if you don't replace caring with this, you in trouble. So every person that you care for, stop caring for them, feeling anxious and concerned and worried. And number one, establish a plan or purpose for them. Number two, be kind and pleasant to them. Number three, be generous. Excess in giving, not caring. What are you giving? You're giving kindness. What is kindness? What is that person's purpose? So every day, the person that you want to take care of and you want to love, and you like, well, Brother Will, I gotta do this for them, I gotta do that for them. Then you want to stop doing that, and what you want to do is you want to give more than usual. Generous simply means you want to give more intention and friendliness than usual. It means that's how you show kindness. And that leads you to the fourth thing that you have to do, and that is to be considerate. This was huge because this gets into the definition of the word truth. The word truth means considerate, it means objectivity. So, truth, not truth, considerate. When you are considerate, it simply means that what you are doing is you are thinking about the feelings of someone else. It means showing kindness. Bam, there's that word again, kindness. So, when you are considerate, you want to think about the rights and the feelings of other people. That's what considerate means. So you want to think about it. In other words, in the back of your brain, you're like, man, what are their right? Think about the person that you care about. Ask yourself, what are their God-given rights? And then ask yourself, what are their what are they feeling right now? Like, I used to think about that when I was with Shamora. I used to ask myself, man, I wonder how does it feel? Because she used to tell me, Dad, you don't know how it feels that when I go to school, because once a week, sometimes once every week, I would get a call from the school. She'd be at the nurse's office. She'd be walking down the hall and she just dropped right in the middle of the school. But I wanted to take her out of school. And she was like, nope, Dad, I want to go to school. She was in theater. She'd be in the middle of the play in front of an audience of 1,000 people. Well, maybe not 1,000, 200 people. Bam, she just dropped on stage. And everybody in the audience, I remember one time we went to Subway and we was, excuse me, and we was eating at Subway. And in the middle of eating, restaurant full of people, primarily white folks, bam, Shamora just dropped and just started shaking. And I remember picking her up, and everybody was like, sir, you want to call 911? I say, nope, nope, nope. And I never would move her until after she finished. So I would just hold her to make sure that she wouldn't injure herself or someone else while she was having a seizure. And she would have these big grandma seizures where she would shake violently. And I remember I was just holding her, and I was sitting there in that Subway restaurant, and everybody was looking at, Shamora, and they was like freaking out. And I was just so calm because I had done it so many times. So I always think about Shamora's rights, and I would always think about how Shamora feel. And Shamora would always tell me, Dad, do not feel sorry for me. In fact, don't treat me like I'm no damn leper. Don't treat me like I'm handicapped. Don't treat me like something's wrong with me. Treat me the same way you treat everybody else. Treat me the same. I was like, okay, Shamora. And I remember I told you guys about that drama teacher she had that I still want to put a bullet in his ass if I see him on the street. Because he disrespected my daughter all the time. And Shamora would never let me go up to school and check him. In fact, I tried to sneak up there one time, and she knew I was coming. She said, "Dad, I told you I got it." She would tell me, "Dad, if you my father and you say you love me, you let me handle it." Say, "Samora, you sure?" Yeah, she was like a little kid in high school. She said, "I got this, Dad. I know how to handle him." And I've seen Shimura go off on this is a male white teacher. And he was a fruitcake, meaning that, he had a lot of sugar in his tank. He was gay because he had a male, and they would go on these. When they went to New York, he took his male partner with him. So I was going to go up to the school and say, "Hey, man, I don't like the fact that this fool flaunting his gayness around." And Shimura was like, "Nope, don't do it, Dad." So out of respect for my daughter, that was her right. Now, everybody else told me, "Man, she should go up there and check that, man. He disrespecting." I mean, my ex told me that. My other kids told me that. I talked to Shimura. Shimura said, "This is how she wants to handle it." Okay. So I always honored her rights. Some of you guys are disrespecting the people that you quote unquote care for because you think you know what's better for them than they know for themselves. That's how they govern themselves, and you taking that away from them. Shimura did not want to be treated like no damn leper, so I didn't treat her like one. Think about their rights and their feelings. I thought it was wrong. I thought that it was disrespectful. I thought that it was embarrassing. I thought certain things, and my daughter said, "Nope, Dad, I'm going to handle it." So I did. In order for you to determine the outcome, number one, everything that you do must be intentional. Number two, everything that you do must be in a spirit of friendliness. Friendliness. What we call that love, that means that you are kind and pleasant. Number three, everything that you do, that you must be in a spirit of generosity. That means you must have excessive giving, which giving means showing kindness. Doesn't mean that you do something. Generosity, it means excessive giving, not of your time and of your energy, but of consideration. You got to give a lot of consideration. And that consideration that you give, it must be voluntary. Now, this is where it gets hard. It gets hard because it's not seen. Voluntary. What's that mean? Voluntary. It means what? It means given from your own free will. Woo! Wow. That's deep. So you can give because, like, I gave, but was it for my free will? No. Why did I do it? I did it because my daughter asked me to. Did I come up with the idea myself? Did I freely give it? Hell no. If Shimura hadn't told me that, I'd probably be in jail right now. I'm telling you, I had a healthy disdain for this dude. Because I would go up to practice and sit in the back at drama practice. I would watch the way he talked to those little kids. And I was going to go to the I had filmed him actually. It was going to turn it in to the school board because this dude was cursing at those little girls. He was yelling at them. He was telling them like this was no football or sporting game. It's freaking drama. Them children was there voluntarily. And I felt like the dude was disrespecting those little children, my daughter included. So voluntary means deliberate, willing from one's own free will. Whoo. So you mean to tell me in order for you to manifest something, it must be voluntary. Voluntary is very deep because not only does voluntary means intentional, which was the first word, voluntary also means it must be deliberate. It's not accidental. That means that you are purposefully and you are willingly doing something of your own free will. It has to be from your own free will. Remember, this is what the universe responds to. The universe responds to these 7 things. So this is how you can guarantee that your desired outcome manifests in your life. What is my desired outcome? $1,000 a day. What am I doing right now? Right now, since I said that, for the last 3 months, I've been generating $1,000 a day. That's how I know it works. So we're actually more than that, because I started, let's say, September, October, November, December, $1,000 a day. Because I started doing this. I started just becoming more conscious of what I was unconscious of. So every day I wake up, and it doesn't require a lot of effort, because the moment that you set your intention, after today, the universe will knock on your shoulder and say, hey, boo-boo, I thought you said that you wanted to do this. Now, notice ever since after I had the COVID, my energy has not been the same. I noticed that my strength, I was talking with my daughter, she noticed the same thing. Ever since COVID, it's harder for me to work out. It's harder for, like, the amount of weight I lift. I mean, I could do push-ups all day. Push-ups would be my warm-up exercise. Now push-ups are the exercise. It's like I'm rebuilding my strength. COVID, it zapped your energy. So I noticed that it takes a little bit more. I gotta be a little bit more focused. I gotta be a little bit more disciplined. I gotta be a little bit more orderly. This is all self-government. So what we're doing, these are the 7 components of self-government. These are the 7 components of management. Now, management is also one of the modules. Management is module number 4, which you're going to be breaking down later on this year. But remember, you do not get what you pray for. You get what you are capable of managing. So if you want to make more money, manage the money that you got. If you want a bigger house, manage the house that you got. If you want a better husband, manage the husband that you got. If you want a better wife, manage the wife that you got. If you want to increase, if you want to determine your outcome, manage. God does not give you what you ask. He gives you what you manage. So money is attracted to management, which is another word for self-government. So we're breaking down the 7 components of self-government. That's what I call outcome. Because once you have internal government, you don't need external institutions. So whenever there's a lack of internal government, what happens? Public chaos. So a lack of private government equals public chaos. Bam, that's what we are right now. So your job is to eradicate all external law, the need for it. I said again, your job is to eradicate all external laws or the need for it. One more time, what is your job? Your job is to eradicate somebody coming along and telling you what to do. External. Your job is to eradicate the need for external stimulation, because you got internal revelation. That's your job. Number 6, in order for you to be able to manifest whatever it is, the desired feelings that you want. I don't know what it is that what do you want? My desired feeling is financial stability. I want to be able to feel, by looking at the money in my account, I want to feel financially stable. Like I'm good. That's how I feel right now. I like to feel it. I want to feel every organ in my body functions according to its purpose. That means I got no pains, no issues. That's how I feel right now. I want to feel like I'm connected to source, meaning that I have wisdom. If a problem presents itself, I have the mental capacity to either have the information in my brain or to connect to God to contact that information. I want to, my desired outcome is to feel wealthy, feel healthy, feel wise, and feel like I'm in a relationship with myself, with my God, and with other people like you. Do I feel that right now today? Absolutely. How did I create that feeling? And how did I create that desired outcome? I created this desired outcome. I'm in the best place that I've ever been in my entire life today, right now. As I'm talking to you right now, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I'm wise, I'm in a great relationship with God, with myself, and with other people. I went to Walmart this morning. I bumped into an old client from way back in the day. And she looked at me and she said, Are you Will Rogers? And I'm like, yes, yes, I am. She said, I thought that was you. Like, this is Angela. Well, I probably shouldn't have said her name. She said, this is, well, I always said her name. This is blank. And I said, I don't, do I know you? She says, yeah. And I said, I remember. And she went to, Sister Asia. I remember, Brother Zachary. We was all the original Eagles Club, the original group from almost 15 years ago. That was her. It was very interesting that she ended, because we ended on a very bad relationship. She tried to kind of like, after she got the products and everything, then she went to her credit card and tried to get the money back. And then she went to PayPal. So it was very interesting that she would even, like, if I bump into somebody I didn't have a good relationship with, I don't go over there and say, hey, remember me? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I just like, I don't even see you. I see you at Walmart and I keep walking. I just like, I don't see you. Now, you come over to talk to me, I'm going to play church. Hey, what's going on, brother? Praise Jesus. Won't he do it? So that's what she did. And I was like, the first thing that called up my mind was like, yeah, you the B.I. I want to go off Dr. Span, but, hey, Dr. Span, I didn't do it, Dr. Span. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember you, Sister Blank. Yeah, how you doing? Like, you live in San Antonio? Come to find out, Dr. Span, the whole time, 20 plus years that she lived in, she actually lived in San Antonio, same city that I'm in. I had no clue. So I had to fake the funk. Why? I wasn't being original. Originality. Originality is the ability to think independently and creatively. If you do not do this, you will not be successful. This one is huge. These last two are the smoking guns. Number one, you got to be intentional. Number two, you got to be friendly. Number three, you got to be generous. Number four, you got to be considerate. Number five, you got to operate from a place of deliberate free will. It has to be voluntary. I can't make you be successful. You got to want to be successful. But number six, original. Original means authentic. Damn. Oh, snap. This is where 90% of you good tongue talking, Bible thumping, chair turning folks, this is where 90% of the audience, y'all got to tap out because you ain't authentic. You're fake. Not you personally, but people you know. See, originality, it means uniqueness. It means uncovering one's own true voice by thinking outside of the box. Damn. Why'd you have to go there, Doc? I was with you, brother. We had one step to go. And then you had to come and say some boo, beep, 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 beep. That's the thoughts of the average out. Keep it on. Originality means uncovering. That means the shit's covered. You have to uncover your original voice. I gotta say this one again, man. This is like, woo! Originality. You have to expose, express, and expand. It means to uncover. I gotta write this down for myself in case I forget. It means to uncover your original or your true design. Uncover your original or your true vocation, vacation, or voice. Notice it has to be original. The word original, again, simply means authentic. Y'all know I've been saying that word authentic for a long time. Authentic. It has to be your own true voice. Do you know how many people are regurgitating someone else's frequencies, wave, or vibration? Now, I'm a ghostwriter. Like, I assist people with writing books. Sometimes I will write their book for them. There is nothing wrong with having someone else assist you with being you as long as you provide you. Let me say it again. Father, touch the mind, will, emotion, madness, and touch of your people now. There's nothing wrong with getting assistance from me or from someone else as long as you participate. There is nothing wrong. This is the number one reason why black folks, especially even though we ain't black, why Alkebulians, even though we're not Alkebulians, why Negroes, even though we're not Negroes, why individual expressions of God's on earth, that's us. This is the number one reason, even though it's number 6, because remember, this is just 6 attributes of one word. This is 6 attributes of self-government. The number one reason why Alkebulians cannot predict and control their outcomes. In other words, I feel magnanimous before I became magnanimous. How? I was original. What's the word original mean, Doc? The word original means that what you are doing is you have uncovered your own true voice. Daniel. You know how hard that is? You know how hard? Really? Let's be for real. Let's be honest. How many on this call have uncovered your true, authentic voice? Remember, the word original means that you are leading with your own true, authentic, personal uniqueness and style. It means using what you've uncovered. Now, what have you uncovered? Okay, what have you been through? So, let me use an example. If I could use Sister Addie for an example, I know that one thing that Sister Addie has uncovered is her own stick-to-itiveness. That's a part of her voice. Sister Addie has been through, just since she's been with the life management system, since I've known Sister Addie has been through some ups and downs in life, and she's still sticking it out. She ain't a quitter. So that's a part of Sister Addie's true, authentic uniqueness and voice. That means when she talk, write, speech, post, wipe her butt, it should be with that frequency. You should use what the enemy tried to bury you with, because that's what makes you unique. The number one issue when it comes to manifesting and controlling your outcomes in life, if you don't understand where you came from. So your outcome, look at it. So I'm able to predict my outcome because I know from whence I came. I can look back and see, there, I did this, I did that. Oh, I didn't do that. I failed, but guess what? I got back up. If you're still here, you listen to me, you're a winner. You cannot listen to me rant and rage for no hour and you not be a winner. You'd have been disconnected a long time ago. So I know you're a winner. So this word original simply means that you have found it and you've uncovered it, and now you are leading with it. You are leading with your own true, authentic voice. Number 6, your own true, authentic voice. That gives you number 7, value. Value, I'm not talking about value as in your values. I'm talking about value as in your mother beat worth. Your value is equivalent to that of someone or some things consideration. What? So value is the level at which someone and something is willing to exchange what is called money for usage. Don't get confused with value and values. Your values, that's your beliefs that you live by. I'm not talking about your values. I got values too. One of my number one value, I value myself over everyone else. Now, I didn't used to have that value. That was not a part of my morals and my values. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your sense of importance. Come on, preacher. Value. You cannot self-govern if you don't have a sense of importance. Oh, well, Doc, I'm just hanging on, brother. I'm just believing Jesus for a miracle. I'm just a sinner saved by grace. Brother, if God don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. This is one I like the best. I say, hey man, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. If God say the same. Oh, I love that one. I love when people say, I mean, I know what they mean. I know their heart's in the right place, but they just gave their power to an external deity. God ain't gonna give you shit if you depend upon something or someone outside of you. That's the reason the average Negro is broke. Not you personally, but Negroes, you know. Now, let me be crystal clear as we close, because I know that that's going to be a low vibrational Negro listening to me today, and you're going to get your feelings hurt because you're going to miss the forest for the trees that like I used to. The hardest thing that I had to learn was to get past my own self and my own ego. You see, the death jab, a lot of people are taking the death jab because God gives you what you can manage. He doesn't give you what you want. Now, I'm going to say this again. You want a new car. You want a new house. You want more money. You want a six pack. You want bigger chi-chis, a bigger badonky donk. You want whatever you want. God don't give a beep about what you want. He only cares about what you can manage. See, God is like me, or I'm like God. The number one thing that I learned was management. Thus, the name of the life management system. I got out. That's why I got out of the military. That's why I got out of law enforcement. That's why I got out of corrections. That's why I got out of loss prevention. That's why I got out of code enforcement. That's why I got out of case management. All of the things, all of the jobs, everything that I've done in my entire 50 plus years on this planet was in institutionalized government. God had to take me through the desert. See, God takes you through what you are designed to do. He took me through institutionalized government so I could see the problems with depending upon you cannot legislate morality. They've been trying to do that shit for the beginning of time, since Adam and Eve. Since Moses went up on the rock and then God gave him 10 commandments, way more than that, but he only gave us 10. Since the beginning of time, God, source, the universe, the big G knew that you lacked self-government, so he gave you external government. So it's time for you to get back to, let's reverse engineer these 7 keys. If we reverse what we just said, if we reverse intention, friendly, generous, considerate, voluntary, original, and value, if you reverse it and say, if you have a sense of self-importance, worth, if you got a sense of greatness, if you got a sense like I'm the bomb triple.com, if you got a sense of your true worth and your true value, if you could understand how much value you have, if you could start by seeing your true worth and value, if you could start there, if you could look in the mirror and say, I'm a bad mother, shut your mouth. You could. If you could start with your worth, if you could just take into consideration, if you could establish in your brain that you are the top of the hill, you are a royal priest, you are a holy nation, You are a joint heir with Christ. If you could see your true worth and your true value, the rest is downhill. Everything starts with a proper self image. See, we can't see who we really be. Problem is a lack of a proper self image. We call that self worth. You see, brothers and sisters, if you could have this feeling of worthiness, you could you would be able to work in excess. You would feel valued. You would feel worth your financial compensation. You would be worth any award, any degrees, any I'm going to use the word aggrandizement. You would not need external validation because you would have internal revelation. If we could see our true worth and our true value. Self-worth determines net worth. If there is no self-worth, there is no net worth. That's the problem. You need external validation when there is no internal revelation. It is the lack of internal. The shiftness is to be internal. External, we don't need no external. Now, if the external comes, are great. But that shit should not be needed. If you go post them on Facebook and nobody likes it, you should feel great. You should feel magnanimous. If you got a book for sale and nobody buys it, you should feel like you are God on earth or a goddess on earth. If you got a product, service, information, and it's been out for 6 months and you ain't sold not one, you should still feel stupendous. Why? It ain't determined by external. The shiftness is determined by internal. You see, your internal revelation overrides external demonstration. If you want more external, you need more internal. Internal determines external. External does not determine internal, but we got a conundrum. What the conundrum, Doc? Well, we feel, damn. So if you don't make no sales, what do you feel? Well, damn, I don't know, Doc. I knew this shit wasn't going to work, my brother. I'm going to go on back over there to Ebenezer Baptist, over there. Well, at least they like me over there at Ebenezer. Should I have my own chair on the front row? I had been there 30 years, and all the mothers in the church, we all sit up front. And at least, sure, at least at Ebenezer, they give me a little respect. I don't give a damn if nobody knows you and nobody respects you. Know and respect yourself. Self-worth determines net worth. Everything starts with a sense of self-importance. Number one, that leads to a sense and a feeling of exposing and uncovering your true voice. That leads to you thinking about and feeling about the rights of yourself. That makes you be generous by giving and showing kindness to yourself. That makes you kind and pleasant and friendly to yourself, which allows you to continue to aim, plan, and pursue your purpose of the self. Do you know that has nothing to do with no one else? When you do that for yourself, you automatically want to do that for everyone else. The devil tricked us. So the devil tricked us by getting us to focus on someone else more than the self. Because if there is no you, there can be no one else. So caring makes the other party feel guilty. That's why my daughter Shamora taught me this, what I'm sharing with you. Most of the stuff I know, I learned from my daughter when she was 12 and 13. She was an old soul. She taught me how to be a man. My daughter taught me how to focus on me. She said, Dad, get your eyes off me. Don't worry about me. I told you, Shimura lived in an apartment. Her mom was never there. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened where every time I call or go over there, Shimura was in the apartment by herself. And I felt guilty. I felt bad. I'm like, Shimura, why are you here by yourself? Clothes was everywhere. There was no food. And I would go over there and pack your shit. We go, nope, I ain't leaving my mama. Your mama ain't here. You ain't seen it in 3 days. Nope, I am not leaving. Say, Shimura, you need to get your shit. We leaving. And she like, Dad, I can't. I'm not leaving my mama. She start crying. I get angry. She said, Dad, I cannot leave my mama. It's my mama. I said, when the last time you saw your mama? She was always honest. I ain't seen her in 5 days, a week. Well, how do you eat? How do you get to school? How you do it? Don't I figured out. Shmore was doing that shit at 8 and 9 years old, taking care of herself. She gave me a sense of value. She taught me how to take my eyes off of everyone else and to put my eyes on myself. And that was okay. See, I always felt guilty for rewarding myself. I could have bought myself a $100,000 Corvette a long time ago. I did not think I was worth it. I would have never spent $100,000 on no damn car if it wasn't for my daughter Shimura, who said, Dad, you deserve it. You work hard, you deserve it. And then D, my wife, echoed the story. What is the point? The point, brothers and sisters, is you will not be able to manifest anything in your life. You will not be able to determine. Let me rephrase that, because you're manifesting every day automatically. You just won't be able to predetermine and control what you're manifesting. You will not be able to predetermine and control your feelings and your outcomes unless you have a sense of importance about yourself that leads to a acceptance of your own voice, which leads to a consideration of your own rights and your own feelings, which leads to the excessive giving by posting. This is why I post excessively. This is why I talk excessively. People think I do that for their attention. If there was nobody on this show, I will go over to my other venue that doesn't require anyone to be on. This venue actually requires that someone other than the presenter be on the line. So like YouTube, Facebook Live, some of the other venues, when you go live, if somebody's there listening, that's great. If not, you can still go live. This venue does not allow that. That's why when some of you guys, after I schedule a show, and after about 2 or 3 minutes, if nobody calls in, you notice you'll call into the line and nobody's there. That means I flipped over to the other venue. And I'm doing it over there because nobody's interested in the topic that I'm talking about. But if nobody calls in to this line, do I stop the show? Hell no. I talk to myself. This shit is not about anyone else. See, until you get to that level, you're going to experience a lot of devils. When you get to this level, there's no devil. Because why? It's all about you. Now, other people can come along and listen. I'm talking about how to predict your own outcome because you determine your own weather, because this shit's internal. You maintain your own mentality. You maintain your own reality. You don't go by the reality of the dominant culture or what everybody else is doing. So what does that mean is that, number one, I have a sense of importance. I have a sense of value. That sense of importance, that sense of value makes me original. It makes me authentic. It makes me share my share. I share my true voice, which allows me to be intentionally deliberate and free, which allows me to think about how I feel and express what I believe is right, which allows me to express, expose, and expand that excessively while being kind and pleasant and intentional or purpose-based. Those are the 7 keys to self-government, so that way you can override external government. Right now, your outcome is determined by external government. After today, your outcomes are going to be determined by internal government. You're going to be able to govern yourself now because you have value, you are original, you are doing things that you want, voluntary, you are considerate, you are generous, you are friendly, and you are purpose based or intentional. Those are the 7 keys. Again, value number 1, original and authentic number 2, voluntary free will number 3, considerate, doing what you like and what you love number 4, generous, excessive posting, expressing and expanding, which leads to that was number 5, number 6, which leads to being kind and pleasant, what I call friendly, which allows you to be number 7, very intentional in what you do, which means purpose-based. Value, original, voluntary, considerate, generous, friendly, intentional. Those are the 7 keys to self-government. And self-government, again, there can be no development where there is no self-government, as we just broke down in module 1. If you have self-government, my brothers and sisters, you will be able to control and predetermine your outcomes and your feelings. As always, brothers and sisters, man, it is an extreme honor, an extreme privilege, especially as we get close to the holidays, because everybody's busy and running around and doing all of this stuff. You are able to control and to predict, your own outcomes based upon, again, those 7 keys. So, brothers and sisters, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank Source Code for you. Did I miss anything? No, I did not. As always, I love you. And then nothing you can do about it. We're going to see you at the top. God bless.
Yeah, I set myself on the path. I told myself I would last. Yeah. Never gave a damn about the cash, but still I'm chasing the bags. Try to stay on point with these bars. Just that roller joint in the car. Pull up, chillin', puff on a guard. Remind myself that I am a star. Pull up twice like it won't suffice. On some northern lights with some southern rights. Ain't no other type, big brother Mike. I'm above die, right above fly. Let they hate go and let the love cry. Make a little growth like a bonsai. Celebrate and get a buzz high. Meditate like a monk. Why? Hit the quarter for the month. Grind. Kinda sorta niggas must die. Can't afford it, but you must try. Stick up on you with the heart tight. Beat killer with the heart rhyme like I'm P. Miller, cause there's no limit. Transparent with no gimmicks. Y'all copycats, so go mimic. Yeah, I set myself on the path. I told myself I would last. Never gave a damn about the cash, but still I'm chasing the bags. Try to stay on point with these bars. Just that roller joint in the car. Pull up, chillin', puff on a guard. Remind myself that I am a star. Nose diving like a kamikaze. I'm Hokage, I got a village behind me. No one can outrhyme me when I'm vibing on these beats. Freestyle and bringing heat. When I'm wildin', your defeat is set in stone. Not playing your Game of Thrones. The true king is coming home. Flow's always atomic. Leave you catatonic. It's ironic cause I didn't choose this. This means I chose me. Turning this vision into reality. Got a pure intention to inject my venom. Yeah, I set myself on the path. I told myself I would last. Never gave a damn about the cash, but still I'm chasing the bag. Try to stay on point with these bars. Just that roller joint in the car. Pull up, chillin', puff on a guard. Remind myself that I am a star. Just a light stuck in a vessel. Guess I'm trap star. I'm a trap star. Up late night, had to invest so I can pass y'all. Don't you know it's hard for a pimp when you got swag, dog? So fuck your life and ride for myself, so kiss my ass, y'all. Just a light stuck in a vessel, guess I'm trap star. Up late night, had to invest so I can pass y'all. Don't you know it's hard for a pimp when you got swag, dog? So fuck your life and ride for myself, so kiss my ass, y'all.
Let's get it.